Happy 20th birthday, Cathedral of Hope, Oklahoma City. You know, I must have been in my teens when we started this journey. Actually, I was in my mid 40s then, but I remember so clearly being grateful that I was not any older because I would have been exhausted. You know, we started by doing services in Dallas, usually 3 in the morning, then me getting on a plane and flying to you to be present for your service in the evening. It was a full day, but it was so wonderful. And despite the fact that everybody said, you know, you must be exhausted about all of that, and I did sleep well those Sunday nights, I slept with great joy and a sense of satisfaction that together we were doing something important, particularly at that time, but I think maybe at this time too. You know, I remember the Easter where we did 2 gigantic services at the Meyerson Symphony Center. Then the choir and the orchestra and I got on a bus and came to Oklahoma City, where almost 200 of us gathered at the Will Rogers Auditorium, and we celebrated Easter. It was every bit as much a moment of resurrection as any of those morning services had been, and it let me know that there was going to be a presence in Oklahoma City who would continue to resurrect the lives of people who all too often didn't feel at home in the church in places like Dallas or Oklahoma City. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful that you continue to faithfully serve God. And I am anticipating the great things that will go on for you in the future. So, sisters and brothers, live passionately, love faithfully, and celebrate every moment of your life together, from now until the finale. For the God whose love really does endure forever is with you, goes with you, expresses life to that city through you. Thank you. Amen.
Greetings, everyone. This is Kevin McLemore. I'm pastor of Epiphany United Church of Christ here in Chicago, Illinois. I've been the pastor here for about 9 years. I bring you greetings from my own congregation, and I bring greetings of the larger United Church of Christ, who is celebrating, I'm sure, in heart anyway, with your 20th anniversary celebration. But I was the first settled local pastor of the Cathedral. I arrived on the second Sunday of your existence some 20 years ago in second Sunday of August 2000. And what I found there, of course, was a lovely, wonderful, kind, generous congregation that was ready to do ministry and to be a place of welcome for all of God's children. And I hope that has continued. I have no doubt that it has. I was very lucky to be a part of your work, and I consider myself still to be a part of your Cathedral family. When you help to begin a congregation, it stays in your bones, and the Cathedral will always be a part of my good memories. There are a lot of good things I have, a lot of good memories I have about the Cathedral, but I'll tell you 2 things. First is I was always amazed at the good worship that we had over those years. Of course, that was a hallmark of the Cathedral in general, but it was amazing what we sort of pulled off. And I don't mean necessarily me, because I was a really amateur preacher only about 3rd year into my ministry, but it was actually the music that was so amazing. We had a really great small choir under the leadership of Michael Swift, who sadly has passed away, but I know he is in God's good embrace. But he and the choir were such a good gift, and it was really an amazing time. And so the other thing that I kind of remember was the work of justice that we did at that time. It was, I don't know what Oklahoma City is like right now, but at that time it was a pretty oppressive place for LGBTQ folks, though we, of course, had pockets of acceptance. I do remember in the spring of 2002, we were visited surreptitiously and clandestinely by the local KKK, and they decided to taunt us afterwards by sending us emails saying that they had been amongst us. And eventually later on, they said they were going to protest a conference that Epworth United Methodist, Church of the Open Arms, and the Cathedral were putting on called Homosexuality in the Bible. It ended up that they asked for a permit. They met with the local cops in Oklahoma City. We were expecting them to show up with their 15 people, perhaps. Every off-duty officer on that Saturday in Oklahoma City was at the cathedral. At the last minute, of course, they were cowards and they did not show up. One of the blessings out of that was that conference that we expect maybe 75 to 100 people ended up being about 300 to 350, and a lot of straight allies came out to support us. It was a good day, a day of hope, a day, a reminder that God is doing always a new thing in this world. And I know God's going to continue to do a new thing with the Cathedral of Hope, Oklahoma City. It was a privilege to serve you even for a short time. I wish you all the good blessings that God has for you in the future. You will always be a part of my heart, and I hope you have many, many good years ahead of you. Have a good 20th celebration.
Hi there, everyone. It's Tessie and Lisa. We just finished up a Taizé service up here in Bellingham, Washington, where we live, about 90 miles north of Seattle. We've traveled a lot since last we saw you. And here we are back on the West Coast. But we're very excited to say hello to you tonight and to just mark this time with you, this time of your 20th anniversary. It's very exciting. It's really great that Reverend Kayla reached out and asked us to say hello and to wish you our best, to just say that we love you. We often think of you. Whenever I think about you all, I think the Oklahoma people, just salt of the earth. And I know that we had some amazing times together and we had some challenges as well. And I'm sure you've had plenty more of both of those over the last 20 years. But I think it's true that nothing lasts forever, but nothing is lost forever either. So it's good to be back with you tonight. And we thought we'd just end by singing you a song. Receive this as our blessing to you. I am sending you light to heal you, to hold you. I am sending you light to hold you in love. Y'all take good care. Happy anniversary. Bye-bye.
Hello. Congratulations to you, Cathedral of Hope, Oklahoma City, on your 20th anniversary as a community of faith. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Bob Wilcox, and 17 years ago I was your interim pastor for about 13 months. Even now, I look back on our time together with great affection. My time serving this congregation was indeed one of the great experiences of my professional life, and I'm so grateful for those memories. We had a bit of a rocky start, but I knew I could love you when one Sunday morning I discovered that the communion chalice was generously filled with wine. If my memory is correct, I think I did a pretty good job of consuming it all as the communion service ended. But now, as one of the finest but fictional presidents of our time, Josiah Bartlett, would say, what's next? As wonderful as your celebration of 20 years is, what do you intend to do with the next 20? I ask you this because the essential work of human liberation and radical hospitality and inclusion and justice is not finished. So my prayer for you today is that you will let the joy and the pride of this anniversary celebration become the energy behind your commitment for the next 20 years. Be consistent in expressing your faith in the God of infinite love. Be persistent in creating the momentum that will carry you and the community you serve into the more just and equitable future. And as you continue your journey, please remember this: I love you, and I always will. Happy anniversary.
So I was thinking back of all the fun we had at cookouts and swim parties and fundraisers and dances and drag bingo and all of the good work that we did in caring for one another and in service to the community and our advocating for greater justice. Really, from 2005 to 2010, when I was there, we were on the front lines of LGBT equality work, working there in Oklahoma, where circumstances can often be so difficult and trying. And it's so wonderful now, all this time later, to see coming to fruition so much of the work for legislation and changing hearts and minds and fighting for LGBT equality that we were doing then, and how much we have progressed in our movement together as people of God doing the good work for justice and equality. And so you have much to be thankful for and much to celebrate. And so I and Michael and Sebastian send our greetings and our well wishes from Omaha, Nebraska, and really wish that we were with you. We had planned to be there in person to celebrate this event, and hopefully we can be in person very soon and be with you and hug you and enjoy all of the opportunities to celebrate and honor the good work that your congregation has done in these 2 decades. Blessings and peace. Have a good day.
I just wanted to say congratulations and keep living the good news of the tenacious love of God.
Perkins. I was a pastor of Cathedral of Hope from, kind of end of 2011 to spring of 2015. Had a wonderful, wonderful run there. Best memories for me, there's 2. First, really is probably more kind of sign of the times political one. That set of years, of course, had the legalization of same-sex marriage in Oklahoma. And very kind of quietly behind the scenes, I remember in the days after that happening, doing weddings for all kinds of couples from everywhere. I was in couples' apartments. I was in parks. I was, at the time we were worshiping at Mayflower, I was there. I remember traveling down to courthouses in Norman and Guthrie and all over the state. Tried not to leave the state too much to go ahead and do those, because I just went, oh, no. So tried to kind of limit the travel and had couples come to me. But it was an exciting time, and a time where we all realized, yep, that's why we're Cathedral of Hope. The second one is kind of where I really finally came into my own, and it was a sermon I decided to entitle Turn Around. Now, Turn Around was about the one of the 10 lepers that was healed that turned around to Saint Jesus. Yeah, but there's more. I decided to use Total Eclipse of the Heart as a song, unknowingly not realizing that's kind of a theme song in the gay community, and got huge cheers from everybody after the service was over going, "You found the song, you found the song." Oh my goodness. Dinner that night was just so much fun, and they had a great time, and it was like suddenly I got it. And as being the only straight pastor that the church has ever had, that was a big moment for me, because I've always been a huge ally and always will be. But that was like, oh, finally I arrived. It may have taken me 3 years, but I finally figured it out. But just wishing all the best to all of you in the coming years ahead. You have a great mission and ministry that is like no other. Be there intentionally for the LGBT community in a very special and different way. Blessings on your ministry and in your time.
Hi, Cathedral of Hope, Reverend Kayla Bonniwell. We've been together since February 2016, so about 4.5 years. And I'm so happy to be here to celebrate our 20th anniversary. So much beautiful ministry. It's so fun to look back over it and to dream up and imagine and just live into what God has planned for us in the future. So it's a different time right now, right? And we get to be in ministry in new and different and creative ways, for which I'm grateful. So blessings to all of you, to all of us, and happy 20th anniversary.